Hi there, and welcome to What's in It Wednesday. My name is Tanya Harris, for those of you that don't know me, and I just want to welcome you if this is your first time. I'm the founder of HealthyHomeHappyFamily.com, and my mission is to help parents discover the common toxins in their home that are affecting their family's health. So the reason for that is I'm a childhood cancer survivor. I was diagnosed actually in 1982 at the age of 7 with leukemia. So this is actually my 35-year anniversary, and I'm having a golf outing in August to celebrate. So just thought I'd throw that in there because I've been working on it all day and I'm super excited. So far, my family and I have donated over $142,000 to support childhood cancer research and family support programs in the Chicago area. And on top of that, I'm also the mother of 3, and I'm also board certified in holistic nutrition. And again, my mission is just really to help parents understand what's in our products and also find out safer brands to buy, because it really can be pretty easy to make simple swaps. It doesn't mean just grazing in your backyard and eating tree bark and drinking air. It can be super simple because you don't have to actually change your whole lifestyle just to have a little more non-toxic home. So with all of that being said, tonight I thought I would talk about sunscreens. I know I've done it before. I did it back around spring break, but it's Memorial Day weekend coming up, so a lot of people I know will be out boating or out of town. Schools are getting out, so there's a few things that I thought maybe I should mention, plus tell you how to find a safer sunscreen, because there's so many chemicals in sunscreens that can lead to thyroid disruption, endocrine disruption, same thing, disrupt the hormones. There's actually penetration enhancers in some of these that can actually help all of the ingredients soak in quicker to the skin, and some of those ingredients we don't necessarily want in our bodies. Also, we put them on our children, and one of the big things with that is children have different skin than we do. It's much thinner. They actually don't have the same detoxification processes that adults have, so that means that the chemicals can stay in their bodies longer to do their damage, because they can't detoxify them and flush them out as quickly as adults. Plus, their body systems are developing, and we don't want to put anything in there that's going to disrupt any hormones or body systems developing. So it's really important to do this for our children too. So with that being said, for tonight's What's in It Wednesday, the thing I'm going to start out with first is actually why you don't need to buy a sunscreen that maybe you don't have to buy a sunscreen separate for your kids than you buy for yourself. And the reason for this is, I'm acting like you can see my screen. Let me see if I can share it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, if you look on here, this is actually, I'm trying to make my screen bigger, sorry. This is actually Neutrogena Sensitive Skin, SPF 60. So this is, oh, hi Julie, and hi Mom, and Mandy, thank you for joining. And actually, if I can ask for one quick favor too, if you could like this video, if it's helpful, like it, or even better, do a reaction like love, that actually pushes it out in the newsfeed, and that would be awesome. And thank you, I would appreciate that. And thank you for joining me. So anyway, if you look at the one on the left there, or at least it's on my left, I hope it's not reversed, the Neutrogena Sensitive Skin, that's an adult one. The one on the right is Neutrogena Pure and Free Baby SPF 60. So that one is made for children and babies. But what I did is I looked on the labels, and actually I highlighted them in pink, all of the same ingredients. And I'm actually going to look at my bigger one real quick here. If you look at the top, the active ingredients are titanium dioxide with 4.9%, zinc oxide 4.7%. That's the exact same. So the exact same amount of active sunscreen ingredients are used in both of these, for the adult and for the baby. And then look at the inactive ingredients. Look, it's almost identical. So most of us think, and me included until I started really researching this, thought I needed a different one for my children, when really you don't. And then the other problem is there's so many ingredients in these that can cause a lot of issues. So I'll talk in a second about the 2 types of sunscreens and which one's safer. But look at this bottom one. If you've been following my weekly What's in It Wednesday series, you know that PEG means like 1,4-dioxane contamination, which is a probable cancer causer. There's stuff in here like BHT, That's a preservative that I would not recommend using. That's linked to some cancers. Let's see. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch here, and I'll actually get into those in a minute. But I just wanted to show you, too, just how identical these are. So really, and especially if you're buying a safer sunscreen, you probably don't need to buy a separate one. For one thing, the ingredients are almost identical, and if you're using a safer one, that's just better for everyone. And I'll get to that in a second, too. But I just wanted to show you this, that we don't always need a new one. So with that being said, I'm going to X out of that one. And, oh, I've got my screensaver up. Sorry, that's my family and I doing a tech presentation for one of our golf outings we did. Okay, I'm going to go to here, and hopefully you can see this screen. So what I'm going to go into is I'm going to show you a couple of the two of the different types of sunscreens. There's chemical and then there's mineral. So the chemical is the one that has those active ingredients like you'll typically see avobenzone and oxybenzone, that type of thing. Or you'll see something on the front that'll say like Helioplex. Those are common ones. That's just a proprietary formula that the sunscreen company uses. The safer one are the mineral sunscreens. These are the ones that protect with titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. Did I say that? Titanium dioxide? So anyway, these are the ones that have fewer health concerns, and they're also more stable in sunlight. Because one of the surprising things I learned is actually in these chemical sunscreens, there's a couple of active ingredients that actually degrade when they are in sunlight. So that's definitely not something you want from your sunscreen. And you can see here that you see octinoxate, octisalate, and zinc oxide. So sometimes you'll see a combination of the mineral ones, like a zinc oxide, but then you'll also see some of the chemical ingredients like the octisalate and the octinoxate there. And you can see this different one on the blue bottle. So I just wanted to go through a couple of these really quick so that you know what these are doing and why I don't recommend these chemical sunscreens. So for one thing, they can contain avobenzone, which is actually pretty common, and this is the most unstable sunlight filter. So that means that it will degrade in sunlight. And one of the things it needs to do is have other chemical ingredients with it so that it doesn't degrade, and some of those chemicals are pretty harmful. Another one is octocrylene. This one is, again, added to stabilize that avobenzone. This one has been found to build up in the body tissues, and they've even found it as long as decades after exposure, so that's kind of scary. Relatively high rates of skin allergy, and when it's exposed to UV light, it absorbs the rays and produces free radicals in the body, which if you know about free radicals, those are definitely what you don't want. That can lead to all sorts of things like cancer, that can wreak all sorts of havoc in the body. The next one is octinoxate, and this one again is photo-unstable, so it needs more chemical ingredients added. And when it's combined with avobenzone, it degrades even faster. And then there's a high risk of irritation. And the Environmental Working Group, which if you're familiar with them, they have a great sunscreen guide also. They list octinoxate as a moderate hazard because of the possibility that it may lead to developmental and reproductive toxicity. And it's also been found to penetrate the skin. So here you can just see it. And I have this in the guide too. There's different names for it. By the way, I have a freebie for you tonight, so stick around. I actually have the URL written on this video. And we're almost done already. I just wanted to kind of give you a quick background on some of these. Octisalate. This one provides poor range of UVB protection. It acts as a penetration enhancer. So this is one of those ingredients that I was talking about that actually helps chemicals and anything that's in this formula absorb into your skin more quickly. So really it's just getting direct access to your bloodstream, and it doesn't have to go through the same detoxification pathways that like food would go to when you, just to compare it, like when you eat something, you have enzymes and you have a whole detoxification process. Well, that slows things down a little bit. This, it just gets directly into your bloodstream where it doesn't have access to those detoxification pathways as quickly. This one's important to mention because it can cause allergic reactions, especially in those with salicylate allergies or sensitivities. And I work with a lot of parents whose children have ADHD and behavioral issues, and a lot of them choose to avoid salicylates. So if that's something that you're trying to avoid, I would definitely avoid a sunscreen or anything with octisalate and salicylates in there. The next one is homosalate, and this one's a hormone disruptor, so this means that it gets in the way of hormones doing their job. It can block them from doing their job, or it can mimic them. It forms toxic metabolites in the body. It can cause allergic reactions. Again, it's another one that you'll want to avoid if you or your children have salicylate allergies or sensitivities. And kind of the scary thing is they found that it can enhance the penetration of 2,4-D, which is a possible human carcinogen. And this is something that's being sprayed more and more commonly on crops, turfs, lawns, maybe golf courses. It's linked to liver and kidney damage, endocrine disruption, and damage to the nervous system. And it was also a component of Agent Orange. So if you are out golfing, or you or your kids are playing outside where this has been sprayed and you're using a sunscreen with homosalate on there, it's actually helping that pesticide in particular get into the body faster. So I thought that was kind of terrifying when I read that. And I think the last one is oxybenzone. And I saved this one for last because this one's definitely a biggie to avoid. It's a very strong hormone disruptor, and it also acts like estrogen in the body. So we've all heard that we don't want extra estrogen in the body or anything that mimics it. That can lead to all sorts of problems, including breast cancer. It's also associated with endometriosis in women. It penetrates the skin, and the Environmental Working Group recommends just avoiding it altogether. And this one also has a high rate of skin allergy. So definitely one to avoid. And I think that's really it for those. Yeah, I'm going to X out of this. So I'm going to look on here. I was wondering if I have any questions on there. I'm going to not finish. I'm going to go back to my camera. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to mention that real quick because with this weekend coming up, I know we're all buying sunscreens. So I wanted you to be able to pick a safer one. And so what I'm really excited about is I actually took a lot of my module that I did for one of my courses that I haven't released yet, but I'm super excited about it. And it's called How to Buy Safer Sunscreens. It's about 28 pages long, but the only reason it's that long is because I put a ton of pictures in there. I like pictures. So, it kind of looks like this. I'll just go, whoops, I have to share my screen actually. So, it looks like this. Here's the cover. So, it talks about vitamin D and how sunscreen can actually block your body's vitamin D production by up to 99%. So, talks about the different ways of how you can, the two different waves of UV light, and how to look for a safer sunscreen that will actually protect you, because some don't protect you from the more damaging rays, which are the UVA rays. So I'll teach you how to do that in here. And then I'm going to go through, let's see, how child's skin is different, and then the active ingredients to avoid, and then it goes in also to, I'm just going to scroll all the way down, the inactive ingredients to avoid, which we've talked about a few times. But you'd be surprised what's in there in some of these. So, let's see, I'm going to go. So there's just a summary of the ones to avoid. And some of my favorite ones, let's see, I already went past it. Some of my safer brands, because I get that question a lot, I like Goddess Garden Organics. I like Badger Sunscreen. Mexitan or Tropical Sands, they're the same thing. I really like that one. True Kid, I'm trying to find on here. But they're all listed in here anyway. So if you want this freebie, you can go to, and I'll also put the link to this in the comments, or actually in the post. I'll edit that, because I know this is a really long URL. I didn't think about that when I chose my website name. So if you go to healthyhomehappyfamily.com/sunscreenbook, you can get that for free. Just sign up and just enter your name and email, and it actually comes right to you really quick. So once you do that, actually another thing you'll get in the next couple of days, and oops, sorry, I'm reading some of this. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Because I lost my train of thought. I'm really good at that. In a couple of days, if you sign up for that, you'll actually get access to my secret resource library too, which I'm super excited about. This is printed out. This is not what you get. This is all online. So I have a secret resource library with every single freebie I've ever created. I think there's about 20 of them in there now. So you'll have access to all that. So it's going to be everything that I've created all in one spot that you can keep handy. And anytime I come out with a new one, which is usually about once a week, you can just go to that resource library and access it. I have everything from optimizing your child's brain health through nutrition to, content upgrades from my blog posts. So that means if I have a cheat sheet or a guide in my blog posts, that will be in there too, like how to buy flame retardant free furniture, because some of those can affect your child's IQ. So anything like that you can find in that secret resource library. Where do you buy the safe brands? Oh, that's a great question. You can buy them online. Goddess Garden Organics I've seen at Walgreens. I used to see it at Target, but the last time I went to Target, I didn't see it. True Kid, I believe, is out there too, but a lot of these are actually on Amazon. And another great one is Vitacost. They usually have things at a great price, and that's online. Mexitan, I think, is online only. And Badger, you can usually buy at a regular store or a health food store too. I've seen it in there. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for tonight. For anyone who's watching, if you are watching this later and have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comment box below and I'll hop back in and answer them. But I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. And don't forget to grab that guide. It's got a lot of great info in there. Everything I talked about tonight and more. It's probably everything you want to know about buying a sunscreen and anything you didn't know you knew about or wanted to know about buying a sunscreen. So anyway, I will see you next week for sure for What's in It Wednesday, unless I pop in here before that to do another one of these. So anyway, thank you so much for watching and have a great night.